Resuming debate, the honourable member for Sudbury.
Mr. Speaker, Monsieur le Président, je vais partager mon temps.
I'll be sharing my time with the member for Glengarry Prescott Russell.
Honor to rise for the first time and introduce myself in the great riding of Sudbury. Avant de commencer, j'aimerais profiter de cette occasion.
Before I begin, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank my wife and children, Hélène, Henri, and Theo, for their support and love, which gave me energy to get here to the House of Commons.
I'd like to thank my team of hardworking supporters and all the voters in Sudbury for their confidence in me.
I'd also like to thank my family and friends in Kapuskasing in Northern Ontario for their encouragement.
I'll tell you a little bit about my great riding and about the vast potential for the region of Northern Ontario and how the speech from the thrones and its elements will profit it. Mr. Speaker, Sudbury also is a microcosm of Canada, and blasts like that we hear regularly because of the mining, which I will get to soon. With its Anglophone majority population and over 45,000 French-speaking residents, yes, the third largest Francophone community outside of Quebec, and a strong Indigenous population, Sudbury was built on the backs of waves of immigrants from Italy, Finland, Poland, Ukraine, and Greece, and today, a strong South Asian population. This is a rich arts and culture hub of Northern Ontario, reflecting Canadian diversity. Ceci, dans la forêt boréale.
In the boreal forest, in the Canadian Shield, we are surrounded by natural resources.
Stated in the speech from the throne, in Sudbury, we see the result of immigrants building successful lives in Canada, and I am proud to stand with this government in working hard to bring in immigrants and refugees to contribute to continue Canada's economic success. There are a total of 330 lakes within the city of Sudbury, more lakes than any other municipalities in the world. In fact, Lake Wanapitei is the largest city-contained lake in the world. Ramsey Lake, at the heart of my riding, is the second largest, and which provides over 40,000 homes with fresh water. We're also home to the fourth largest film festival in Canada, the third and eighth largest science centers in Canada, a burgeoning film industry, and a variety of cultural and music festivals, such as the jazz festivals, which I am proud to have helped launch. Ainsi, je suis fier de faire partie d'un...
So I'm proud to be part of a government that will be investing in culture and the creative industries in Canada, as was set out in the throne speech.
Turn shortly to the many hidden gems that Sudbury makes Sudbury a great place to live. But I want to talk first about what my riding is known for. Most know that Sudbury is home to one of the largest integrated mining complexes in the world. Without a doubt, we are the richest mining district in North America and is one of the leading hard rock mining regions of the world. It was a sector largely ignored by the past government, and I find it important to raise it today. From my business office in the center of the city, I see 3 head frames, a smelter, and the second largest smokestack in the world. Nowhere else in the world is the mining industry so pervasive. In fact, there are 5,000 kilometers of underground tunnels. If you put them back to back, you go from Sudbury to Vancouver underground. But the real story of Sudbury's mining industry is its growing mining supply and equipment sector. As new technology and innovation led to new products and processes, these homegrown companies found eager national and international markets looking to improve their productivity. Today, the sector represents more than 300 companies in Sudbury, employing almost 14,000 skilled workers and professionals, and generating approximately $4 billion in revenue each year, 40% of the mineral production in Ontario. Because of this innovation boom, mining research and development in Sudbury has evolved into a world-class industry all its own. Many of the brightest minds in mining-related sciences are being drawn to Sudbury to be part of one of the world's most advanced clusters of international mining research. Greater Sudbury's innovation cluster is made possible through partnerships involving post-secondary institutions, all levels of government, and some of the world's largest mining corporations. The long-term sustainability of these mining companies is dependent on the innovative research coming out of facilities like SEMI, the Center for Excellence in Mining Innovation, and Merarco, the Mining Innovation, Rehabilitation and Applied Research Corporation, both located at Sudbury's Laurentian University, as well as NORCAT, Northern Center for Advanced Technology, which is the third major innovation partner. Other world-class research facilities include the Snow Lab, which I will come back to in a moment, and the Valley Living with Lakes Center at Laurentian University, where I had the great honor of welcoming our then soon-to-be Prime Minister last August, where he announced $200 million in annual funding in support of technology incubators and research facilities and financing for small business looking to grow. Évidemment, lorsqu'on parle...
Obviously, when we're talking about success stories in Sudbury, we should talk about our environmental rehabilitation.
Sudbury has received numerous awards for its aggressive land reclamation, including a United Nations Local Government Award and a United States Chevron Award. Over the past 30 years, dozens of community partners have planted over 10,000 million trees, transforming our sulfur-damaged moonscape into a reforested vista of green. In fact, a prime example of the sustainable transformation of our mining industry in our city's landscape is coming online right now. Currently, Vale is wrapping up a $1 billion investment in pollution controls to further reduce sulfur dioxide emissions by 80% over current levels, well below the government standards. When completed, Vale will be in a position to demolish its iconic smokestack. Yes, the second largest smokestack in the world is looking at being demolished because of the innovation and research that we have done. You see, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, in Sudbury, we strive at protecting the environment and growing the economy. These have been compatible goals in Sudbury. However, more work is needed, but that is the success of the Sudbury region. Earlier, I mentioned the Snow Lab, and I want to take a moment to recognize the lab and its staff, particularly Dr. Arthur MacDonald, for their historic contributions to humanity's understanding of our world and how it works. I'm sure some of my colleagues recall, Dr. MacDonald and his colleagues last month won the Nobel Prize for Physics for work largely conducted at Sudbury Snow Lab. Snow Lab is an international underground research facility specializing in neutrino and dark matter physics, located 2 kilometers underground in the Valley Creighton mine. Snow Lab has 5,000 square meters of clean space underground for experiments and the supporting infrastructure. It is the perfect example of what we have done in Sudbury to transform our community to a world-class center of innovation. Sudbury has made tremendous strides and succeeded in diversifying the local economy away from only mining extraction sector.
Mr. Speaker, Sudbury is a major centre for education in Northern Ontario, with 2 colleges and universities offering educational services in both official languages. There's theatre, literature, music, and a cultural centre in Sudbury, which is an important pillar of the Francophone community. So I'm proud to be part of a government that encourages and promotes the use of both official languages.
Thanks to the support of the federal government, Health Sciences North is launching the Advanced Medical Research Institute of Canada, which is attracting specialists and are seeing medical research conducted on an ongoing basis. Before I conclude, Mr. Speaker, I would like to say that I'm also proud to be part of a government that has promised to stand up for Canadians who need support. Seniors, veterans, young peoples, those suffering from mental illnesses will be my priority. My grandfather fought in World War II. He came back physically fine, but he was never the same. We now know that he suffered from PTSD, and my family suffered with him. After his experience, it is very important for me to ensure that no veteran or their families has to fight the government for the support and compensation that they have earned. That we worked as hard to provide support. We work as hard to provide support for those people suffering from mental illness as well as physical fitness. I want to conclude today by sharing with this House details about one of the most significant economic opportunities presented to Canadians in a generation. The Ring of Fire in the far north of Ontario is an unparalleled opportunity for Canada and Ontario to follow Sudbury's lead and continue to diversify our economy and solidify our place as a global leader in mining innovation and technology. The number on the Ring of Fires speak for themselves. Analysis shows that within the first 10 years of its development, the Ring of Fire will make significant contributions to Canada's economy and will sustain up to 5,000 full-time jobs annually, create more than $25 billion in economic activity, as well as generate more than $6 billion in government tax revenues. All of this by providing a compelling incentive for all governments to invest in its economic opportunity. I know that, along with my Northern Ontario caucus colleagues, we will champion this opportunity by standing up for the leaders who are prospecting and investing in Northern Ontario, the research and innovators whose work allows us to mine, process, and transport ore sustainably, and very importantly, the Indigenous peoples of that area who have called these lands home for generations and ensure that they are fully engaged in reviewing and monitoring this project as promised in the speech from the throne. We will stand up for the men and women seeking to earn a living and support their families in one of the oldest and most respected industries in Canada, hard rock mining. Monsieur le Président,
Mr. Speaker, those are my comments, and I'd like to thank you for the opportunity.
House of Commons to build Sudbury, Northern Ontario, Canada, into a global center for sustained mining excellence. Merci.